Hey everyone, you've reached the RC Groups podcast. You can only see the top of my hat right now, and there's a reason for that. I have a surprise, and I didn't want Jason to see it before the podcast started. There's no one on here live, so while we look at the top of my hat, this is a tough Hedeman hat, Jason. I had a man, you were there. He said, "I'll wrestle you for this hat." Do you remember when we ate lunch?
Oh yeah,
that old man said, "I'll wrestle." Well, then I ate Mexican food that night, and the guy that ran the cash register said, "Where did you get that hat?" And I realized he wasn't kidding. He wanted to know where he could go buy this hat. So I'm going to find a place. What's happening, Lane? Well, Lane is on, but it takes Lane a minute to get everything rocking and rolling. He must be in his man condo there. So we have some live viewers coming on as we talk to the hat in today's podcast. We'll be talking about Jason and I going to the field and flying a lot of stuff. It was pretty hot out there, and we did a lot of things. And Jason and I have some things in folders here, so hopefully I can share them as I discuss them.
Cool.
But I have to shoot
day for sure.
Yes, and my hat was there. And so, okay, I'm going to try to reveal what I'm going to show you, Jason.
Oh,
two weeks ago, I was a pretty sad guy. Remember what happened? My Jack Black, my good friend, died.
Yeah.
Well, I got some amazingly cute news for the podcast here.
Oh no.
Oh, it worked. Look at this dude. Oh, he's so cute. This is Friday, and he's a male, and my wife said that she somehow accidentally went to the rescue shelter. I saw her on my phone. I'm like, where the hell is she? And she goes, "Hi." And I said, "You have a little animal in your hand. I can tell how tenderly you're talking to me." And so she sent me some pictures of this. Look at this cat. He looks like a cat from the 90s. It might be a trick dog, you know. Remember that dog? I don't know. Anyway. What do you think? No, there was another dog. Anyway, Jason, are you a cat person? Is this cat pulling any heartstrings on
No,
you?
I'm a dog. Well, not even really a dog person. But I did think that you were going to pull out a like 3D printed version of your old cat as a memorial to hang on the wall.
I sincerely thought about having him stuffed, and no one here was really buying it on that one. But this cat is a pistol. Oh, and he also is not afraid of the dogs. I'll put you down now, but look at his paws. Look, his toes are black, and his paws are white. He's a kitty cat. All right, Mr. Wow. Friday. Now he'll run around the office, and he attacks my braids, and it's pretty awesome. What's happening, Lane?
Not much, just doing what I do to work. I work tonight, so I go in at 7. I got off at 7 this morning. And so I'm sitting here at my little table that I put on building an airplane.
Jason, how's that connection working for you on the
Yeah, I'm getting spotty.
Yeah, it's not very good for me either, honestly. Let me try something. Let's hit that.
All right.
Ooh, you work thunder outside.
Yeah, man, it is. It's going to rain. It's dark out there.
Is it any better now?
Yeah, it is. What the heck did you do?
Oh, just messing around with settings.
Different Wi-Fi?
You turned on the internet.
Yeah, that helps.
You got to get the faucet all the way on.
That's right. Somebody was stepping on the hose. This is Aberdeen, South Dakota for, so when I'm not working, I try to build something. So any idea what that might be?
Looks like stuff for a biplane side, whatever you call those.
That's sheeting for the wings of a 35-inch Plains Cuda.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get that built first. Whoever this is for, your airplane was just live on the RC Groups cast, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of which, I talked to Empire Hobby and told them that we've been talking about their headset for 2 weeks straight now on the podcast.
And you got to use it in the real world.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do right now is Jason and I went to the field, and we spent a good long time out there, and I learned all about technology. And you know what, Jason? I'm going to talk about this right now, I guess. I was using the DVR on the dang nabbit. Hold on, I got a whole
View optics.
On the little.
Yeah, I
on the
have a whole
screen
review
thing.
here. The FlySight Optics HD goggle, and my first 4 videos looked awesome, and the next 4 videos I got before we took off, and then after we landed, because even though I reread the manual before I left, now you look really good, Lane. Even before I left, I looked at the manual to verify that this is DVR on and this is DVR off. And somehow I still managed to turn the DVR off while Jason was killing it in the sky.
No.
Oh, I knew so much that I had done it right that I didn't even check until I got home. And then I was like, awesome. Here's Jason. I have
no proof now.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go out there when it stops raining, and I'm going to go fly the crap out of that thing with the DVR on.
Nice.
So I'm not even going to use you. But you know what? I remembered, and I didn't.
What did you miss exactly? Just the drone?
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really get was the Scimitar with you working the controls. But I totally not cool on my part. But it'll still be in the review, of course. Is that Scimitar comes with a screen, the version I have, and it also comes with those goggles that we talked about last week.
That's right.
Which are here, right? So what happened was Jason had this eSheen screen with the DVR built in, and he said, when I decided that maybe I was having trouble, he pulled that thing out and just went dink, and it recorded everything. And I thought, I got to buy that. I got to have something that's so simple that even I can't screw it up, right?
Yeah.
And then I got home and I pulled this out and I went, holy cow, man. The screen that comes with Scimitar is built-in DVR.
Yeah.
And I was looking at that thing you have, by the way, is $100.
Okay. That's not bad at all.
The thing you had, if it was 50 or 40, I might just go buy it, to have it because it was exactly what I wanted. But I'm not going to spend $100. And then I realized, holy cow, I already have what I need right here. So what I'm going to do is go in the backyard and fire this thing up and fly all around my trees and all that back area. And then I'm going to take it out and fly it hard in the pasture. That way, if I crash it, I'll have some good footage and use this to record it.
Ooh, it's coming down good. I might lose power, y'all.
It's coming down now, y'all.
I might get cut off. We'll see.
Is it raining in your place, Lane?
No, we got some nice weather today. We had some storms moving through yesterday and yesterday evening. Last night I had another scene flight to south of town and ran into a little bit of rain on the way down there, but nothing terrible. There were some really nasty storms just south of here, though, the last few days. So pretty decent today, but instead of, I was thinking about going out to the flying field today, but decided against it.
Maybe it moved out our way.
You viewing the radar and the goggles there?
Yeah, hold on. Let me check. I was going to see if I can see in these goggles. And I can't. Now, I know there's a lens in here, but I do not believe that it's adjustable. So, anyway, Lane, I'm going to go off top here. Do you ever do any gaming? Are you a gaming guy?
Not a ton. My son does quite a bit. What's up?
Oh, nothing. I was just curious. That used to be something we would occasionally talk about at the end of a podcast. I'm sure you don't have a lot of time for jacking around, as my dad would say in the 80s. Oh, maybe locked up. Jason?
Yep.
You know what? Everybody in the live feed, I think we'll do what we did last week and just go straight into it. We're not going to save anything for last or anything like that. Okay. So what I did is, there he is.
He's back.
He must live way out in the woods, man. All right. Let's see if it'll do it. I created a screen, and there it is. And is that showing? It's sort of showing. Let me go full screen on it. Yeah, that works. Okay. So now I'm going to go share. No, that didn't work.
What's happening if I turn on anything else that uses any internet?
It farts.
Yeah.
Okay. What else can I do? Jason, I'm not sure what to do here.
What do you want to do, man?
Well, basically, everyone, what I've done is we go out and we go review, and when we do, we go in an order, and usually we take photos of the plane, then we switch that card and we take videos, and then we make sure we have it all, and then we move on to the next one. So, Jason, I don't know what you do, but when I get home, I take all that content and I open up that SD card, first verifying that I have it. And then when I do have it, I create a folder just for this plane, this quad, this plane, these goggles. And then I drag all the pictures into those folders, all the videos and everything I have. And that way it all lives in one place and I never get confused again.
Sounds similar to what I do.
So here's a new idea. I'm trying to get, these are not in reviews, although I do have a review we can go look at instead of just
posted up quite a few reviews alternative to me and you, but we've had a lot of reviews posted live in the last couple days.
I'll tell you what, Jason, why don't we jump into that Grotner review? Why don't you pull that up? And while you do that, I'll try to play with this over here.
Nick's right now.
All right, let me grab that link and see if I can grab a Nick. We did a Grotner MZ32. That's off the top of my head. And it went live yesterday, I believe, or right around then. Because all my days are blurred into one, Jason.
Boom. All right, so here it is. This is Nick's review. Woo, lightning in the thunder. Little
sounds pretty nasty.
Song there. So this is Grotner's flagship radio. It's under $1,000, and you might think that's a lot of money for a radio, but it's basically an ultra high-end radio, but it's from Grotner, which a lot of the people in the U.S. don't really think of when they think of radios.
I just a link to you, Nick.
This joker is really amazing. As I was reading through, proofing this, it does everything you could want. It's got Bluetooth. It's got all the mixing. It comes with this really nice case. It's got a nice, really cool looking color touchscreen display. It's really, capable of doing anything you could imagine. It's got telemetry. It's got external modules that feed into that telemetry, and you can use them for logical switches. Really, it reminds me a lot of the Jetty radios in the capabilities that it has. So really nice, fancy piece of technology there. Of course, Grotner USA is a site sponsor for RCGroups. You can see them talking about new firmware, which is kind of neat and different because in older radios, you got what you got, and if you wanted something else, you'd have to buy a new radio. But now with firmware updates, they can fix issues or add new features, so that's pretty cool.
It's a neat looking radio too.
Yeah, I'm sure the ergonomics are great. I mean, it's very kind of traditional. I'm trying to find a good picture.
Hey, Nikolai is busy at work, so he can't.
No, he's working. But there you go. You've got, I don't know what all these buttons do, but you got, buttons. Look, this is like Windows. I prefer Mac.
And it's a color screen.
Yeah, I love that it's color. There's not very many that's color. Like I really, really want the Jetty 24 that's color, but it's more money than I can spend. But this thing has it, dude.
Which radio do you fly, Jason?
I've got the 14.
Which one? Futaba?
The Jetty.
Jetty. Okay. What do you use, Jim?
Sorry, I was reading up on a message coming to me from Empire Hobby on the goggles that we're going to look at in 1 second. It's kind of a live feed. That's double live right there, folks.
Wow.
I'm a Spectrum pilot.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious.
And what are you?
Spectrum. Christy bought me a DX18 Gen 1 when that first came out.
I had that too, and I have to say that even though I don't have that radio now, I never had one single problem with it.
I haven't either. And the bad thing is, and I don't know if it's good or bad, I've never plugged it in and updated anything ever. So it is out of the box stock still.
What do you think about that, Jason? Do you think an update? I know that they had a big update on that thing.
On which one?
Yeah. I guess you're not plugged into that though, since you're.
No, I'm still using my original DX9 for Spectrum, which I love and does everything that I could ask of it. So
you had a DX7 first.
I had a 7, yes, It's the original 6, maybe. Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember that. Well, yeah, wasn't it DX? Yeah, it was the DX7 that we flew the SRT on.
Oh yeah. Gosh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
A minute. Yeah. But,
So back
anyway.
to the reviews, guys. You know, if you go to RCGroups, click the little transmitter icon or the magazine link and click all to get to this same page. Then we've also got the Golden Age series Spirit of St. Louis here. Mr. Tim King reviewed this little ultra micro cutie. And then we've got McDougal, Mr. Mike, reviewed the Hanger 9 Ultra Stick 30cc. And good to hear that he's recovering well. He says he thinks the healing phase is over, and now he's into like physical therapy and making sure scar tissue doesn't prevent any mobility. So he's recovering still and knocking out some review stuff still. And I think he's going to be headed down to Flight Fest in Texas coming up, whenever that is. I'm not sure the dates. I don't remember.
That's the first weekend in November. I got the chance to talk to Mike on the phone yesterday, and so we're getting that set up to go down there. Awesome. That's going to be a great event. That is such a nice place to fly. So,
yeah, buddy.
I'm doing too many things.
Jim, what you doing, man?
I'm really working over here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, presenting to everyone. Hey, look, it's my head, Jason. Nice.
Again.
Listen, I would only say this on the podcast.
I wouldn't recognize it without the cowboy hat.
These photos you're taking me, it's like you need to stand up straight. You took some great photos, and I'm like, you slouching. Then I said some other words. I'm not gonna. Anyway, cut. Now let's talk about the Empire Hobby FlySight View Optics HD goggle, HDMI DVR. So I basically finished. I'm not done yet, of course, but I'm really close to being done with this review. And what I did for you here is I went through what you get. So there's the box, and there's the case, which is very robust.
It's big, too. You brought it out. I was like, man, that's a big case.
Yeah, but it will handle.
Goggles, so you need it.
It has all the AV cables. I'll show that in a second. And then all the battery plugs you need. I even brought the manual because I find that you need that when you're new to something. There's a little zippered internal case.
I want a shirt with RTM on it. I can't do the other abbreviation.
Oh,
but
yes. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I can make that, Jason. I'll make you that shirt. You'll have it by the end of the day. Okay. So here's all the plugs. So you get an HDMI cable, which, by the way, I don't usually get with these things. Usually I have to get on Amazon and order one. So good on you. And then the AV cable. And then we have multiple battery extensions for the battery that you're going to power it with. Some are short. I don't know what those are for unless you're going to Velcro it on the unit itself. And then there's a long one, which I used, that goes on the back of your head. And we'll show that in a second. So that's everything. You also have your Velcro foam for your face. Bang, Longhorns. That's all I can see in that picture.
That's right. Or the Chicago Bulls logo.
And then I put them on. I use the thick ones, and I will say I was sweating like a madman in these things, which they didn't care. It does have the fans, and yeah, I have to say that I did have them on at the field, and I was not getting fogged up. So I'd initially said that I was getting a little foggy, but while we were out there flying, I didn't have any fogging issues. Here's the top piece with the dual diversity. Verified, it does say that in the manual. And then we have our USB in to record the DVR, and then we have our HDMI in, and it comes with rubber ducky antennas. Here's your AV and audio and power. And of course, this will all be in review. Any battery fits back here, but you do need to go in the menu and tell it what battery you're using so it can warn you. I did find, and I want to use it more before I say this, but that it was using the battery a lot faster than standard goggles. But then again, I'm running a big monitor in there. Here's the SD card. It's a USB SD card reader, and that's what I was using to save my files to.
Oh, it doesn't come with it, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it does not come with that.
Port. Yeah.
This is Amazon. It was all of $4. My son uses them like candy, and so I keep one on hand. I also use it a lot of my 3D printer.
Yeah.
If you don't own that, you should. It's USB on one side and micro USB on the other. Super handy. I don't know. Probably won't put a link to that. And then here's the menu. And here's your DVR menu. So you go in here and then you click the files, and this shows you all your videos. And then you select one of those and hit play, and then you can watch the video on your goggles, which is how I did discover that we did not record the video on the Opterra 1.2. And so we figured that part out. Here's one of my favorite features on these is the auto scan, which you can see right there. You hit the button, super simple to find the button. It scans, it finds it, you're done. I use this multiple times. And
now you do have to be careful a little bit using auto scan because you can get there's a couple of frequencies that are real close to each other on different bands, and it might be off slightly.
Right.
80 versus 5885, and you want to make sure you're on the exact one that you're on. It'll probably work good enough if you're, frequency adjacent, but it's better to be exactly right on the money.
Is there any way to know if you're off?
If it's only if you know exactly what your transmitter is set to, and then if it has a display of what frequency you're actually receiving on. That's the only way you would know.
So you guys, when you use these goggles, you go out there and you put in your SD card and you're flying and you punch record, and this records your entire thing that you saw through the goggles, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
let's take a look at that.
Are there a lot of different, like my Fat Sharks, can they do that?
Certain ones, like there's certain series that do, like the Spectrum focals that I have don't have a DVR built in.
You would know if it did.
But yeah, like the Dominators, I think, do. I think there's.
I would say most people would know if it did. I'm not.
Yeah. It's really only in the higher end ones that are more expensive, like $300 to $500 range, I think.
But you can buy DVR modules that would go in the AV out of any goggle that you wore, and you could record that way.
I see.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at here, if this works, is where's the play button? Okay.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. I'm really having technical issues here. I can't find play.
That looks like an image to me and not a video.
Well, I don't know how that would happen, but maybe. Well, no, it's a video because it's got a stream here. Oh, you know what? I full screened it. Let me get full screen. Yep. Okay. I'm going to present. Sorry, everybody. She's Louise, right? All right. So hitting the play button. So share and present. And so this is me walking out. I'm probably saying something really cool. This is our field. That's kind of an overflow bowl for flooding, but it comes in handy sometimes if you got to throw something heavy. You get an extra foot or two.
What is this? Is this the Opterra? Yeah.
So now everyone, we're in the Opterra 1.2. You're running a 3S 2200. This would be the first flight. So this is the new battery from Horizon, which I have pictures of. We can go look at it. And it's slightly smaller than my other 2200. And I have it pushed way in the nose. So to answer your question, Lane, this is kind of what you would see, not kind of, but this is what you would see from the DVR. So it's showing exactly what the screen is showing in your goggles. So,
I've never recorded any of my FPV flying.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. First of all, we are using that headset that we just went over. And I got to say, man, what do you think, Jason? That's a pretty solid signal.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice.
And the sending unit there, that's a 600 TVL camera.
Oh, there you go. Going through.
Woo!
Go!
It's a 600 TVL camera and a 200 milliwatt tiny race video transmitter, which is so little. I almost thought I'm not going to put this on here because this is a big airplane. Why would I put this little? But this is as far out as I would ever fly personally. And it looks stinking awesome.
I got to tell you, this was really fun. Like it's not a race wing, it's a cruiser, but you can do proximity flying and be extremely comfortable with it. It was, I mean, just pure fun to fly. I wasn't worried. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. It was just good flying, good handling. There was somebody that crashed in the middle of that soccer field. I mean, it's just the Opterra 1.2 is a really, really good flying FPV airplane. Look at this, doing inverted flight.
Stephen Port was there, and Stephen Port was one of the first 3 people I ever flew together with when I started flying. There were 3 of us, and we flew at Sod Farms, or a Sod Farm. And he'd never seen FPV. And so I went and got my secondary goggles, my Fat Sharks, and put them on his head while we did this. And when Jason flew through that goalpost, he said to me, "Oh, it's good there wasn't a net."
Yes.
He'd never seen anything like it. I said, "You don't even know about FPV?" He goes, "I don't even know what you're talking about." So that was fun to get him in the goggles. So there's that.
My father wear FPV goggles while sitting on a golf cart was kind of funny. You know my dad.
Did he fall out of the golf cart?
Idea. His buddy else did. Yelling at him that they were going to go in the water and stuff. It was funny.
Yeah. I love it when people want to tell you stuff like that. So what else? I have more videos. What else you want to see, Jason? From the field day?
Oh man, whatever you want. Whatever you got to show. I don't know what you got.
Let's see. I have everything we shot. I don't have any good Scimitar foot. You know what I did have, and I didn't pull it out, is I have you flying your Scimitar.
Mm.
Do you have any why don't we do this, Jace? Why don't you find a Scimitar that you flew, and you go visit that webpage and talk about it, and then while you do that, I'm going to go find your video.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, it's on the SD card.
My review is not ready.
Not your review, but from the homepage of that Scimitar, and then we'll jump out of that into your flight video.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this last week.
We did.
While you're looking for that stuff, hometown Grand Island, Nebraska. If you follow Lane's Planes on Facebook, I just shared a thing yesterday, or if you follow my page on Facebook, they are trying to put in a new runway, and nice. So there's pretty tore up. It's been around a while, so they're trying to raise a little bit of money. So if you've got $5 to spare, hey, throw it at a club's runway. Why not? Just something to take a look at. And you can find that, of course, either the Grand Island Modelers or, like I said, my Facebook or Lane's Planes Facebook. If you're interested in looking at it, I'd appreciate it. That's where I go fly. And they have a Warbird event coming up this here in a couple of weeks also. So if you're a Warbird guy anywhere near Nebraska, get out there to the Grand Island Modelers and check them out. Really great bunch of guys and nice field.
Speaking of all that, Lane, do the millions of Lane fans out there know that they can see you on this podcast?
Some do. I haven't really officially announced that. Would you like me to do that one day?
Yeah, you should say, hey, come check me out if you want to hang out.
All right. See if we can get some live guys watching. They'll probably just taunt me.
Yeah, taunting's good.
Of course.
Yeah. But we get distracted, people talking to me. And like, I don't have the group chat up right now for YouTube. Normally I'm looking at that while we're doing this, but the internet will not support two separate windows. I already found that out.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to realize I'm in an apartment that is paid for by the company, and this is my off-duty area that I'm allowed to be in, our living quarters. And they got internet and they got cable television, but as you can imagine, I get like 9 channels and probably the lowest internet package available. So
yep.
You don't complain.
So Jason, looks like you've got yours pulled up.
Yeah. So this is the Scimitar, the 215 Pro. This is, like I talked about last week, this is a high-end, serious performance, racing, freestyle, lots of power drone that's just amazing. So when Jim finds that video, you'll be able to see me flying it. And I've been working on the review. It's basically written and complete. I just got to finish editing the video. And there's a lot of great features to this, good equipment, and it is just a beast. So I'm excited to see Jim's footage. Are you have that ready there, buddy?
No, because it was on the Where'd my mouse go? It was on the micro SD card, so I've just loaded that up.
I bet you I could do something here.
Hey, you know what? I would like to ask our live viewers, are we being too redundant on these birds? I mean, 1 week they're in a box, 1 week we've looked at the box inside and built them, and then 1 week we're flying. So I'm almost feeling like we're being too redundant on this stuff. If so, please let us know. We'll go take a look at that live chat. If not, let us know. And what am I doing? I really am doing a lot of things. It's usually not as difficult as this, Lane.
You see that?
Yeah.
I want a balsa kit. When was the last time you built a kit?
It's been a long time.
The other thing I do like is you can get all the spare parts at
So this is
Hobby, and then the arms are easily replaceable. It's a couple screws, and you're able to replace an arm if you do manage to break one.
Little preview of the video.
It's not like you have to replace the whole frame. So anyway, it's a beast, man. I love this thing. It's so much fun. I really tried to think of something that I didn't like about it. I hate doing reviews that everything's just all hunky-dory. Honestly, I couldn't think of a single thing. The only thing that I really wished I would have had different on this was in the manual. They talk about the forward programming of the video transmitter and the flight control board. And there's no instructions on how to do that in the manual that comes with it. I'm sure that is all available online and easily accessible, but it would have been nice to have all of the functionality that's available in the drone in the manual. It's a pretty thin manual as it is, so they probably could have added that. But that's it. So, I'm really surprised that I don't have any other faults. It's got just gobs of power, very abatic, but the thing that sets it apart for me...
Abatic, I said there, just in case you guys missed that. Abatic.
I say it was expertly tuned, and I got to tell you.
So here's some flying through some trees, and this is like me just getting to know the copter and playing with it.
It just felt right. It's kind of hard to describe what it feels like. It just did what I wanted it to do, and kind of the best thing I can say for that is I'm not a big racer, so I don't have a lot of like shooting really tight gaps and hitting gates and doing all this stuff. But the very first flight with the Scimitar, I was out flying around in and out of some trees, and I saw the two trees together, and they were really tight, and it was a pretty tight gap to get through, and normally I would just go around that and not even attempt it. But something happened in my brain. I saw it in the FPV feed, and I just knew I could do it. I went for it, shot right through the trees, and made it, and it was like, man, holy cow, maybe it's the tune. I don't know, but it just felt locked in, doing everything that I wanted it to do, and it's really great. So you can do freestyle with it. You can do aerobatics. It's got air mode, acro mode, and like a angle mode where it'll do self-leveling.
So anyway, so that's just a little bit of flight footage there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so you've had a lot of time on this thing. Ultimately, you dig it. You're keeping it. It's yours.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the best drone I've ever had, for sure, hands down.
Whoa!
Like that kind of style of a drone, yeah, for sure.
Okay, I am accessing the live. No, you're good. I am late. Very nice. Jason, tell him it's called Perspective. Okay, so we have a lot of live footage coming on here. Jason, I found something. We're totally going off script. Lane, you might appreciate it.
I love off script. That's what I live for.
Well, good. Well, here we are. On this SD card that I was hunting around on, I have some photos that I never threw away. And it wasn't a year ago. It's August, right? It was about a year and a month ago that I shot these photos. The Aerobatic USA, Unlimited Aerobatic team, as it says on the rudder right there, were practicing in Toon, Tennessee. So I jumped in the big black truck. By the way, yes. Oh, yeah. That's why I said you might appreciate it, Lane. Lane's holding up a picture of Jim's airplane at his airport. As I was leaving this, by the way, I just say it while I remember it. I was going down a highway, as one would do, at about 75, as one would do. And it was just at dusk, and I saw headlights. And I thought, those headlights seem oddly close to me. There was someone on the highway, on the wrong side of the highway, on my side, going the wrong way, going about 80. Now, I know I've been in situations like this before. I've played chicken in high school a lot. There's two things to choose here. Do you go stay where you're at, or do you go where you think they're not going to be when they get to you? So, Lane, what would you pick? Stay where you're at or move?
I'm number one, lay on the brakes. 2, I'm heading for the shoulder or the ditch if necessary.
I maintained speed and did not change anything, and that truck blew past me. Boom! And I was like, holy cow, I could have just died. And then about a second later, a highway patrol blew past me.
Wow.
So anyway,
it was in a chase.
Yeah, it was a long day that day. So anyway, what we're looking at here are some of the most badass airplanes on the planet. And what a beautiful airfield. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was beautiful. It looked like something out of Real Flight. And so that's Bob Friedman's 330 SC. And then this is Rob Holland, the current rock star of the unlimited scene. He's not too old. He's pretty good looking. He's apparently an American badass like Lane. And he's one, if not the best, unlimited pilots in the world. And then here's Jim Burke and his airplane. And I know Jim probably has an unsaid, he would like to get every skill set that Rob has and be as good as Rob. So this is him practicing. So basically, hopefully I got some pictures of this. These guys are at this airport and each one would go up and then the others sit under a tent and they're on a walkie. And there's a French guy. And this French guy says, a little more on the top of the loop. You got the pool. And so this went on for days. It was awesome. I'm like, how is this not a TV show? And so these are just my photos from this day in the life. At the time, Jason, I got a call from David Payne at Horizon. And he says, hey, JT, what are you doing? And I told him, and then I said, my life is dope, and I do dope ass shit.
Oh my gosh.
The thing about this is you stop and think about the cost of just Jim's airplane, just the cost of the airplane itself. And it's phenomenal. I mean, they're ridiculously expensive aircraft. And then you start adding in per flight hour for then the maintenance side of it.
Yeah.
And it's such a ridiculously expensive thing to do this type of thing. But I suppose it's probably just about the dream of every one of us that flies radio controlled stuff like this is to do this. At least for me, I've been lucky enough. Jim, Jason, you guys have Steve Johnson out there at the airport.
Yeah.
Have you met him?
He was at the field.
Steve in his twin seat MX2.
Yep.
God, I had so much fun flying that thing. It's a little rocket.
Yeah, you flew it. I've never been in it.
Oh, it's fun.
He has a show that conflicts with Nashbro, but for a while he would do a flyover for us. So there's Rob. How much more badass do you have to be than that? I don't think any more badass. He's got the right colors.
Yeah, I knew you'd like the airplane.
He was a super nice guy. So I said to him, I'm like, listen, I'm a marketing guy at heart. How do we not have Red Bull or any large Coca-Cola type company not backing the team and doing at least a YouTube show on these? And he said, I've tried, I've made all the calls. No one will do it. And I just don't get it. They were about to go to South Africa before. That's what they were practicing for here.
So, yeah, it's kind of like, it's hard to really make it fit. It's kind of like iMac in the RC world versus like somebody like what's his name doing freestyle aerobatics. It's like nobody really cares about iMac like as a spectator sport.
So it's freestyle they like.
Yeah, it's like they want to see the aggressive, like down on the deck, scary maneuvers, where this is all like patterny style. Like they're doing cool stuff, but it's
precision.
It's great for pilots to get them behind it. It's not great for the general public. So I don't think they're going to get big time sponsorships like that. Like the Red Bull air races, it's a whole different animal and it's more thrilling for spectators. So that's probably cool.
I actually was, I hope no one's listening to this that's related, but I was talking to some IAC people, and that was part of the discussion was, what do you think about a freestyle only type of thing? And I'm like, that's based on our research, in the hobby. That's what everyone cares about.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm about to share some relevant and current photos. So these are my photos from my review on the Opterra. So just in case, and are you going to change channels for me, my friend? Come on. What am I missing? Boy, the technology is really getting me. It's like when my mother calls and oh, there we go.
You exceeded the age limit of technology.
Yes. My mom was like, "How do I get a pop-up window to show up?" Me and my brother were both on the phone, talking to her for like 30 minutes on how to make this happen. So this is the Opterra 1.2 in the box, and here's the wings. Everything's pre-built. All the stickers are on. All the servos are in. Here's your little pop in. And Jason, these never popped off. I swore that they would.
Yeah.
All this stuff pops on, the nose, all that stuff. I did throw the plane into the ground one time. Everything popped off. And then I popped it all back on, and it worked. And so there's your wing. Yeah. And so this is a Matt Andron situation. I'm pretty sure they keep refining how everything goes together. So this goes in and locks, and then this auto plugs.
Yeah, it works really great. I'm just curious how it's going to work over time through wear and tear, but it works awesome. I pulled it apart, put it together. It was great.
I think worst case scenario, you could glue everything together at some point if you had to.
Yeah, it's so small. Like there's no real reason to take the wing off unless you're traveling or need to pack it up, in a suitcase or something.
Yeah. And
what is the wingspan, like 38?
I don't have the specs in front of me, but this is more like a 46-inch type of bird.
I got you.
So here's a mount.
I thought it was 1.2 or something.
Oh.
It's wingspan is 47.2, 1,200 millimeter.
Oh, all right. So there's your pop-on nose, and then this little piece pops off. I put you'll see in a minute, my video transmitter here, but you could put on some sort of HD recording device. Here's the internals. It does have this gyro-y thing that you don't need. I have the basic unit that doesn't have return to home or any of that stuff, which on the one hand, Jason, was sad to me because who would you give that to other than me? A return to home loitering wing,
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they didn't have that version available at the time.
That was what I thought, is maybe it wasn't in stock. But at the same time, this was so simple to bind, set up on the transmitter, and throw in the air that I was kind of like, okay, I don't need return to home, by the way, or loiter. That's for guys like Matt Gunn who fly across lakes. So it's got a nice receiver in there, plenty of room if you wanted to add things. There I am popping in that fin and popping on the wings. And I have not flown the Parrot Disco. Jason, you ever flown a Parrot plane?
I just said I haven't seen one, and I haven't seen anybody have one out in the field yet.
This is new. It's kind of a lower skag. It's more protective. Also, this little area right here is for your finger. And then it also has a great CG visual point, so you don't have to wonder where you're at.
So what I did with Jim was launching it like a traditional javelin launch, holding it there. And I preferred to do the nose grab sidearm over the head throw, which was safer for your fingers. And it worked perfectly. I could do it, easily. So
also, I want to say there's some people online who did not use AS3X, by the way. That's what I found out. But they were crashing on when they were launching. And so I was concerned about this. But this thing, I had one bad throw that put it in the ground, but that's because I didn't throw it hard enough and I didn't throttle up enough, which I'm probably going to leave in that review, Jason, because I saved it. And I'm like, this is a good show.
Yeah, you want to hammer full throttle as soon as it's away from your hands and body.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good wingspan pusher like that. Generally, you can do the wingtip type throw, kind of like what you do with the DLG.
Now the wingtips on these, and we'll take a look. Turn up, Jason. After you left, I went to shake someone.
You really don't want to do a frisbee wingtip launch with this airplane because you risk the
wing flying off.
Wing off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
Well, there isn't any secure bolts or anything, so like even a little bit of side loading on that wing could
you'd pull it out,
and then you would twist it.
It would also unplug that servo. So this is actually
that doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Nope.
This is a camera and a transmitter you can buy on the Horizon site, and that's what gave us all that great footage we looked at earlier. It was a little bit of a bear to put it on, though. I had to unscrew the lens, put the camera in from behind, screw the lens back on, and then I took a tiny screwdriver and tightened up that nut that keeps it nice and firm, but keeping it in focus at the same time. You'd have been proud of me, Jason. It was a true modeler's moment. It was a real PI.
You know, you're a modeler win.
Yeah, I'm like in the goggles, looking at the thing, trying to get the best focus I can while tightening the nut with a tiny screwdriver on the nose of a plane and not trying to make the black foam turn white. Yeah. So here's what it looks like.
Bad words did you say?
Yeah, I don't remember, which is also nice. So there it is on the bench, ready to go. And it's ready to fly. There's Jason with the scimitars. It's a scale photo. Everybody, I'm watching the live feed. If you have any questions, I'm keeping my eyes over there. Somebody posted poop. I don't know why. So there's those young people. I may jump through here, but we also pulled out the GB. Oh, and it's so tasty. This thing tastes like some sort of cereal to me. I'm going to put that on Facebook when we turn off the broadcast.
I think.
There's a nice shot, Jason.
I think what you need to do from this point on is you need to bite the wing of everything you ever own. Just put teeth marks right there in the tip of the wing.
It's a good way to test it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's going to be the shot. You know, this is bent a little bit because I was holding it upside down. I realized I was bending my tube. So there's my bad posture. I could cut this right here, though. Cut my posture right out of there.
Get a neck strap. You won't have as much problem.
It's flying posture. Nothing wrong with that.
That's on the cover. It's my Willie Nelson bandana right there. Boom. Okay, I believe we've seen enough. Wait, this is
there's the launch.
This is me trying to mimic Jason, except not real. I'm gonna put that in the review though. So everyone that's live, just realize that's not real.
Yeah, that's how I launch wings too.
Yeah, that could be an animated GIF right there.
Bing, 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 bing.
And I will say I had safe on first, and it was correcting, and I was trying to go for the wrong button. And once we got it into unlimited, holy crackers! It flew great. I edited myself down to the word crackers.
Crackers.
It flew great, and what a bunch of great flying shots. You never know when you're reviewing what you got really until you get home. So you hope that you have 6 or 7 good versions of this. All right. I think we're all getting bored.
Do the review with only the blurry photos.
Like the video would be blurry. All the text would be blurry. That'd be awesome. All right. I'm stopping presenting.
You could do a fake like secondary article with that and send it to Kim. Like, what do you guys think of this review? And
then I can find out who she sends the reviews to get proofed, and I can have them tell her that it looks sharp and crisp to them. And then all of us could be in on the conspiracy, and she could think her eyes were going bad.
Oh my goodness.
That would be awesome.
That would be kind of fun.
I'm going to go through the rest of these. There's no more photos. I have one cool photo of all that FPV stuff in one pile just because that's cool. So, hey, everyone, NASHBRO's coming up at the end of September.
No, it's not. Fall Null. NASHBRO has been canceled. Everybody goes Fall Null.
Don't tell that to the NASHBROs. They'll come get you. They're a crusty group. They're the real damn deal.
To heck with all them. You need to come to Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Where's Billy Hill? South Dakota. What? Jason, are you all approved for Fall Null?
I haven't got an approval notice, although I have sent the request in, so I can follow up, I suppose. I got to make sure I get a hotel room.
Yeah, you know what I would do is book that thing now.
Really, at that place, it's awesome.
All right.
What are the dates?
We can Google it.
I got it right here on my phone. Go to the calendar. It's I'm heading up. I think it's the 24th through the 30th. I think I'm going up on the 25th on Tuesday. Or maybe 25th. I think what's happening actually is I'm going to go to Charlotte and visit John at Eagle Tree a day, go shooting guns.
Oh, you're gonna do it.
Place, and then head because
Nice.
he's very close to Triple Tree. So.
Hey, we have a mention of
That'd be
Neat
fun.
Fair by Steve Wattenberg. Steve, I've told the story so many times, I'll make it brief. Jason, this may be before your time, but
I was working there, but I didn't go. It was the first year I was working there.
Okay, so we went up. We would always go to the Neat Fair with Hobby Lobby, and this one year we went, and it started raining, and it never stopped. The whole town flooded. At one point, we went in to get our trailer, which was saved from floating down the river by Mike Glass, and we're driving out of there, and it flooded the campgrounds and all that stuff. But first I started seeing decks off of, like, I don't know where the decks came from. They were just wooden decks off of houses going down the river. And I personally saw a fire truck going down the river with its lights on, going down the river. And then caskets started washing up where the river took or left. So it washed out a whole cemetery. And then, Lane, you know what I saw that was most exciting? Was propane tanks by the 100. And I thought, if I had a 22 rifle, could I start making huge explosions in the river? Could I shoot them and then blow them up at the same time?
Sadly, no.
No, it wouldn't work. Okay.
Drum. But then you'd have to have, I don't know, maybe tracers or maybe incendiary rounds. Or have you seen Dragon's Breath?
Yes, I've never purchased it, but I've been aware of it since 1991.
Yeah. That would definitely work. You puncture one of them and then shoot it with that. I think you'd be all set.
Oof, it'd be awesome. Hey, everyone, I would feel...
if you really want to have a good time, you have an AR, take a can of stuffed spray foam and set that out and go ahead and just shoot that.
All right, that sounds good.
It's
First of all, I have not said this. I want to say thanks to our podcast and YouTube sponsor, Hobby King at hobbyking.com. Go check them out. They always have good stuff. I'm pretty sure we have a Hobby King unit to look at here. Once again, technical difficulties. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So first of all, let's just say this. Flex Innovation is having a summer sale that ends on the 16th. Wait, is that today? No, that's next month. Okay. So it's a month-long sale. I just put this up today. And if you go in, you can go check out, and you can get that by going to the magazine link. You can go in and see everything. And there's I'll just do it because it doesn't cost anything.
Do it.
There's everything you get. And then you click here and head on over to Flex Innovations, our good friends over there, to see what's going on. We just released this today, Jason. The Horizon Hangar 9.
Dude, we sure did.
Now, one of my first airplanes was a Hangar 9, it was an Ultra Stick. It wasn't a 30cc though. So this is a new review from Mike. Jason actually was talking about that with Mike McDougall's hands, and that kind of held this up a little bit, but it's out. So go check that out and see what Mike has to say about it. And
Jim, how many tabs right now? And don't count.
How many what?
How many tabs do you have open right now? No counting. I just counted.
Are you seeing my tabs? Oh my God.
How many you got?
I don't know. 20?
Jason? 26. 26 tabs.
and I'll keep those open for days, sometimes weeks.
That's a bit excessive.
It's like a memo to me, you know. It keeps me from forgetting things.
I do that on my iPad. I have about 15 tabs. I've got a Carter ball and ball carburetor that I need to buy for the half for one of my 46 trucks, and that tab is still open on my iPad.
And Matt Gunn would warn me. He would text me, "Hey, your tabs are open." So we have the Cajun Huck Fest coming up. I believe we talked about that last week. And
Cajun.
Say what?
I said, "Ooh, Cajun."
Well, you know what I thought was funny? I had to redo what Jonathan sent me. I've been talking to Jonathan a lot about this. It started all this information about location, contact. That was not even at the top. What was at the top was wants to eat on Thursday, wants to eat on Friday, wants to eat on Saturday. All that where it's at and when it's at. That was all at the very bottom.
If you know, you know. And when you do,
you will. That's his wife. I said, your wife will be famous. And he said, I hope she's not too famous. She's wearing the and this extreme flight event. So what happened was a friend of ours from a local club said, "Hey, I just made a phone call and I think we're going to make this thing happen. Can you help us out?" And I said, "I'll do whatever I can." So I did more than a few things. I designed that logo for one. And Jason, I wanted to talk to you while we're here.
What's up?
I put out a mass email this week, and I didn't on purpose put out all your event coverage. So what from the sailplane event? So what I thought I would do is I put out so many things that I never know actually what I've done unless I go and look at the piece that actually went out. So I'm going to verify that I haven't put out any of your sailplane event coverage, and then I'm going to send out an email with just that in it, I think.
There you go. Got to support soaring. Keep it alive.
Then we have our new Hobby King Sky Sword. It's a jet. I didn't look at the price on this. Let's go see what something like this would cost.
They're not terribly expensive. They're neat looking. I haven't got to fly one yet.
183. Come on. Motor, 60 brushless, 2842. That seems pretty cheap. Ooh, silence. And then Tail Dragger RC has this new bird that just came out, and this is who I was hanging out with Natasha from Tail Dragger the other day, and this also includes some trim schemes from a contest. And so we had a contest on FG, and those schemes are now on these planes. Very sexy. Also lights up at night. Speaking of which, Jason, I haven't done it. The Opterra, I haven't even figured it out yet. I'm gonna have somebody show me how to do it, but it has a light strip sections in the wings, so I'm going to make a separate article and do that.
Are they in there? The LEDs are in there?
No, it's just I looked and I see squares, but they have foam in them, so I don't know if I got to pry the foam out or what. But
okay,
I think there's channels, and Lord knows I have LEDs all in the box back here, and you would slide your LEDs into the wing channels, and then I guess you would wire those to a JST, which would be super simple. And then just plug them in when you're ready to use them.
Yeah, cool.
So anyway, y'all,
still flying your Woody? Still fly your Woody,
Jason?
I do. I still have Woody and Jesse, and Baby Mario.
I just saw the powered parachute.
Hey, this is pretty big news, especially for Jonathan. Jonathan Jennings joined Team MKS. And so here's a little, I said, "Hey man, write something up and tell me about it. And we'll feature you on," I've featured him on both sides. So I want to say that to everyone out there. If you're watching, if you have news, if you have an event, if you have something cool, anything RC related that you think everyone would love to hear about, shoot an email to Jason or I, or you can PM us on the site. And let's see, I believe that I'm thinking of this right here. We create content, but we love user content. So Pack Rat's mistress, Karen Schaefer, goes to these events during the summer, and then she uploads all her photos. And Jason and I know as well, or better than anyone else, how much work it is. Shooting the photos is easy. It's taking time out, pulling them down, resizing them, and then getting them uploaded. That's the pain. And so here's a bunch of great event coverage from this event from Miss Karen. And if you're watching, or if somebody's watching, please tell her how much we appreciate it. Look at that, Jason. She's wearing her Flying Giants hat, and the Flying Giants are a shirt and a hat.
FG to the max.
She's FG'd. All right. Well, that's things on the site. I can't believe it's Thursday because it was Monday just a minute ago. I have a new cat. We flew at the field. I'm going to wait and report on the
cat's name was?
Yeah, Friday.
Cat Friday.
You're gonna tell us Friday?
I had an uncle Friday. Sorry, go ahead, Lane.
I was just gonna say, you named the cat Friday?
Yes. So I had an uncle Friday, and I always wanted to name Truman Friday, or one of my children. I would have named Maeve Friday, but no one like my wife was having that. She would not let me name anyone that, so I got a cat.
Nice.
I tried to name my kid Super Commando. If you know anything about Mopar, a Super Commando is the Chrysler 440. It's this 440 Super Commando.
He would have to go without underwear his whole life.
Well, either that or I just thought it'd be kind of cool because, imagine you're, 5, you're in kindergarten and the teacher is going around the room. What's your name? What's your name? My name. Okay.
You know what would make life better for Lane?
It's Superman.
A better internet connection. Lane, we get enough to get you, but we're losing you. I wonder what we could do for him.
Better internet.
Yeah, we got to get you like a rabbit ear antenna hooked up to your internet or something. Did I say it was Friday, Nick? Because if I did, that could be the case. But yes, it's Thursday. Thursday is definitely the hump over here. That's for sure. Although I have a lot of things to do today. So Jason, just so you know, and everyone out there, I'm going to try to finish this headset goggle review. And then I have some Jim T marketing sales stuff to do before 5 o'clock.
There you go.
And my goal was to do a review a day until they're all done.
Wow.
That's big. Yes.
Hardcore right there.
Yeah. If I didn't do a DVR video for this headset thing, I could do it. But I will also say that rushing reviews is just a bad idea. So I probably will finish it, then come look at it the next day and make sure it's solidified.
Yeah, it's always good to take a break and then come back and then find stuff you missed.
Yes. Before others find it. So I guess that's it. Jason, what's on your plate? You're going to finish your Scimitar review. I saw that you got that up.
Scimitar review, and I'm hopefully you're going to be getting some new sailplane stuff to review here in the next month or two. I'm heading down to Florida in a couple of weeks, and then we've got the Bruce DLG contest 1st of September. So
nice,
good times ahead.
Scimitar.
You guys are Aberdeen, South Dakota.
Oh yeah, we got that Aberdeen trip. You know what, Jason? I bet we could run up and then come back after lunch.
There you go. Yeah. We get Steve Johnson to take us in the MX.
That's the first.
All right, everyone. Oh, he's gone.
September.
Oh wait, he's back. Lane, don't answer. But if you've ever seen the show Max Headroom, that's who you are right now. Well, I want to once again thank our podcast sponsor, Hobby King, hobbyking.com. And I want to thank Jason, especially for going out to the field and flying and sweating and working with me. I was going to say on the mini GB, I got one fly in on that, and hopefully I'm going to get back out there and fly some more. What a sweet little airplane. It felt like it was flying in molasses. It was like a slow motion thing. I've never flown a UMX plane before, but I instantly was in love. And so hopefully we'll have more to talk about on that. And news and such. Lane, thanks for joining us. I'm sorry that your link sucked.
Yeah.
Hey, we got that though. You go out on a high note right there. Yep. Jason, I will check you out later. Thanks for wearing your RC Group shirt. Looking good. Yeah. All right, y'all. You've been on the RC Groups Hangout. I feel a little bit like I was mired down in technical difficulties today with all my videos and pictures. So hopefully it didn't hurt anybody. I'm looking over at the live chat before we sign off. I'm not seeing anything new. Steve Wattenberg, I own 3 45s. All right, y'all. It's been the RC Groups podcast. Thanks to everybody. And spread the word. Tell people to come look at this because it's the RC hobby and we're trying to grow this thing. Talk to you later.